welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So I'm Samantha, and that's Steven. We're gonna talk about the wet dry mill tonight. So we're getting it prepped and ready to go. Turn the camera around, we're gonna give you a little bit of information about this type of mill.
Very easy to put together. It does not take a lot of common sense to do it. Now they did not send the washers. The legs here are very, literally, let me go ahead and say, crappy built.
Yeah.
The welds on them are not very good. I will be taking it apart and rewelding all that. It's got a fan trowel on the back so your wife won't get her fingers in it.
It's a 110. We're excited about that.
It's a 110. It doesn't take very much energy. It comes with a little stocking on it. That way the dust doesn't throw it everywhere. Right now, I got the steel blades in it. Right here are the stone blades.
Yeah, the stones.
It's wet dry. I believe for some reason the steel blades are for the dry and the wet is for the stone. But I'm not really for sure just yet. But
that's what the instructions say, but it was so. That's all we're gonna say about that. It does tell us to start with rice to get the oil. The first thing my husband said was, I'm getting oil on my hands.
Right here is an adjustment to set your blade. So before we get started, let's go ahead and open this up. This is the insides. That's your gear that's gonna basically an auger. It's gonna feed your corn, your everything into this. There, it goes into this chute, hits this, and when it hits this, it goes up and starts going through here. And then once it's grinded fine enough, it starts falling down into this little chute bag, and it goes into your bucket.
Which I'm happy to say my husband put one of our new clean buckets in place.
Well, it's not a new clean bucket.
Well, it only had hay in it.
This here, no, this is an old water bucket, but all we're doing is rice. I'm not using it for nothing else. I will go buy a food grade bucket for this.
Yeah, for the feed.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's going to get noisy.
No, it's not. So far, I haven't had very much noise. I haven't finished yet.
Oh.
So once you shut this, you latch the lid, tighten it back down. All right, and if you see right here, it says thick or thin. So you take this little back knob, that's a spacer, lock on it. You take that, you unlock it. I can tighten it down, thin it, make it real thin. Now that's touching the other blade, so you don't want that. So you back it off. And the easiest way I found so far to do any of it is here. I'm gonna turn it on.
I can hear it. I see what you're saying.
Now it's just touching metal to metal. So I'm gonna back it off. Right there.
Okay.
So once that's locked tight, backed off to where you don't hear the blades hitting,
You put the lock back in place.
put the lock back in place where that won't turn.
Okay.
All right, now let's try an experiment on our stuff.
Remember, you need to do the rice first, guys,
Yeah,
to get
do
the
the rice
oil out of
first.
it. Had to do that with the pestle and the mortar, too. Ooh.
Let's try something. Let me turn it off. All right, I don't know what's gonna come out yet.
Yeah, that's not. It's like popcorn.
I know, it was a little bit better. But we can keep just dumping it just right.
Ooh.
That's like popcorn.
Yeah. Okay. You might want to put safety goggles on your kids.
Safety goggles. I think it was a little bit better when I first dumped it in.
All right, let's try that again. This is why we're doing this for you guys. If you're thinking about starting to mill up your own feed costs, because feed costs are not going to go down, you guys.
And it does have a power switch on and off.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see how, okay, finish that up. I was just gonna see before the phone, because my battery's low. I just want to see the coarseness or the fineness of the rice. Well, that's not bad.
No.
Wow. Oh, guys, I am so excited. We can use rice
That's
bran.
almost like that will be almost to be
Perfect.
cornmeal.
Yeah, it's for, well,
You look at,
here, put that in my hand and get the other. So there's your regular rice. And that's what it did with it. Wow, I like that.
yeah.
I'm very impressed. Because, you know, Steve and I have been telling you guys, I had a subscriber. She was so sweet. She watched one of my earlier videos from this year on chickens. And she was so excited. Her comment in there was, Sam, look, a year ago almost today, you were talking about getting a pelletizer and a miller for your farm. She said, girl, look at you. You finally got it.
And if you don't want to have the stuff shooting back out, find your little cardboard box or something. And just kind of open it and shut it, putting the stuff in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Safety first.
Especially with kids.
Supposed to be wearing gloves. Wouldn't hurt to have eye goggles or something on. But it is what it is for me.
You want to tighten it down and let's run it through again?
Yeah, I'm going to tighten it down a little bit more.
So a lot of people were asking me, like, why not just feed your animals raw materials? And I said, that's actually a really good idea. Here's some of the reasons why we don't want to necessarily do that. One, the cost of raw materials. Two, if I can grow it myself. Go ahead.
Get it? Oh, see, that's too tight.
If I can grow it myself during certain seasons of the year, I don't want to necessarily have to store all that material. So the easiest way to do it would be when the material's coming out of the garden, prep it, mill it, pelletize it, and store the pellets. The other thing is your feed costs are not going to go down, you guys. All right? I work with the USDA. I watch the cost of wheat and soybean. And here's the other thing. Soy is being used a lot in our feed. Well, soy has been proven to increase estrogen. So when you're feeding your family animals and meat that has been fed out on soy, well, you're affecting the possibility of getting kids and grandkids. Don't do it. Now we're gonna do it tighter. Hold on.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah, you can do that. Let's try it like that.
Much better. We're just wanting to help you guys problem solve a few things before you do this with your kids, grandkids. It's like Stephen and I, all your god kids, because they'll be the ones that are going to get excited about making pelleted feed. And how exciting that we're going to be able to teach this new generation how to create their own feeds for their livestock, like their great-grandparents would have done. So this is real homesteading knowledge.
Oh my goodness. It's like sand.
Oh, wow. Okay, put that in my hand and then pour some of that purple bowl in yours and let's compare them. Wow. Wow. This is going to make amazing grits.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I'm so
this would
excited.
Be about cornmeal size right there.
Yeah, that's about a cornmeal. He's right. Oh, wow. You want to, after we run this corn, you want to try, this rice, you want to try a little bit of that cracked corn?
Yeah, we can.
All right, finish that off. I'm gonna go grab that cracked corn out of the truck. We are a zero waste farm. Here's that beautiful rice, powdered form. Guess where it's going? Straight to the red wigglers. This is a great addition to your worm bin, guys, because your worms have gizzards, very similar to chickens, and they need gritty materials to help them break down the food that they're ingesting. So this is a great addition to our worm bin. So now I can start grinding up some really good additives for my worms. All right, guys, we're gonna do cracked corn now. so excited, and I just can't hide it. Wow, that's fast. It says it can do 133 pounds of whole corn in 1 hour. All right. It's still putting it out? Wow. That's beautiful.
There's cornmeal.
Look at that, the first time. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, Stephen. We're gonna make amazing pellets because we're growing winter wheat, winter oats, and a couple of other things, you guys. I'm gonna wet and dry mill most of that up, and I'm gonna have amazing organic feed for my animals. And another thing, you can naturally feed out your rabbits. I do it all the time. But a pellet is a very good way to make sure that your pregnant and nursing does are actually getting enough nutrition. Because just like women, they get picky. They're not going to eat everything fresh that you put in there. By pelleting it up, you're just giving yourself something to fall back on. What if you have bad crops? What if it's raining and you don't want to go forage? Because I'm telling you, when it's 17 degrees or 117 degrees, I don't want to go outside and forage. So knowing that I'm making my own pellets out of organic seeds and different things like that, that's exciting. So what do you think, Steve? Well worth the money?
Yeah, it is. Like I said, there's just a couple little things that have to be modified, but other than that, it's gonna be it tells you how many pounds you said?
133 in an hour.
In an hour? Yeah, I can see 133 in an hour because I just dumped a little bit too much in there, and it shut the machine. It bogged it down.
Yeah, I heard it kind of.
So it's just a light. It's nothing big. It's worth,
for small homesteads.
Get your foot off of that.
Oops, sorry.
It's worth the money just to learn how to do it.
Right. Before you go spend the $3,000 on the big setups.
There's bigger ones out there that you better have your A game on to get it.
Know how to do your cover crops. Know what cover crops you have to grow, all of that, you guys. If you're a homesteader, a farmstead, or a farm, we're going to recommend this product. I mean, if you can find it made in America, great. We couldn't, right? It says 133 pounds an hour for corn, 166 pounds an hour for rice, 166 pounds an hour for wheat, and 110 pounds an hour for patty rice. For refining details, for soybeans, it'd be 110 pounds an hour, and for rice, it would be 110 pounds an hour to turn it into a powder, basically. But do you think we could pelletize that at that grain, or should we go smoother? Probably smoother, huh?
No, not really. You wanted to have some kind of base to it.
Some kind of grit to it, too, because it's good for their teeth.
Good for their teeth, and they gotta have grit, man.
Even the worms, everything needs a little grit.
Some grit. You eat grits.
Yeah.
And that's a grit.
I know. That's what's wrong with our white bread. Why it's not healthy for us anymore. Yeah. Bread used to have grit in it too.
It's well worth it. If you want it, they're worth having it.
Walmart, $320.
Yeah.
It's the wet dry meal. Please make sure you get wet and dry. All right, because with the wet meal, we're actually, I told y'all, we're going to be growing our own sugarcane this year, and we're going to make the syrup. And I'm going to try to substitute that for that processed beet white sugar that everybody keeps buying that's making America so sick. So we got some good things coming. We're excited, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with Storky Farmstead tonight. If you haven't done so, please like, comment, and subscribe. Ask questions. We'll do our best to answer them.